Welcome to day 2 of our hip challenge. So we are going to focus a lot on ankle mobility as well as hips today. So we're kind of intertwining those two. So you should feel this increase some fluidity of motion through your ankles as well as all the goodness through your hips. So let's get going. So we are going to start with our open kneeling rocks. So the main thing here is to think about focusing on your inner thigh as much as your ankle. So you're going to take your leg, once you get into the split squat position, or half kneeling position I should say, you're going to open your leg up to about 90 degrees. If you feel uncomfortable there, you can come off that a little bit, but up to 90 degrees, you're going to have your ankle at a 90-degree angle as well. And then you're going to take your hand, you're going to form a circle, and you're going to place it right at the hinge point of the front of your ankle. You're going to use your back hand as a tactile cue to keep your heel down while you're doing this. So everything should stay nice and flush, and you're going to rock yourself over your toe. So as you do this, you should feel some tension building, some lengthening going on in your hips. You should also feel the roll and glide through your ankle, a little bit of a stretch even through your calf complex. So you're going to do 10 of these. Kind of hang out at end range for just a little bit, even a full, nice, slow breath to get a good amount of overpressure and encourage even further future mobility. So if you're feeling a little bit of tension through your hip right here, what I'd encourage you to do is when you're coming into the fully flexed position or the bent position through your ankle, knee, and hip, instead of like leaning over your knee, try thinking about sinking your butt down toward your ankle, and that should actually get better range for you without locking through the anterior hip. Once you get to 10, please feel free to switch sides. Again, we're going to set up in that half kneeling position. We're going to take one leg, come out to 90 degrees. Hands are in that circle formation with the back hand on the heel itself, encouraging the heel to stay down. Front hand is on the hinge portion of the front of the ankle. And you're going to glide your knee over your big toe, keeping your hip and posterior hip down towards your ankle, keeping your heel on the ground. And again, taking a moment at end range, at your limit of motion, to hang out there for a second just to encourage future mobility. So a little bit of overpressure there, and then back out. Knee goes over that big toe, so you're not driving over your little toes, you're driving over your big toe. I wonder if you heard that snap, that's okay. As long as you're not in pain when you popping every once in a while, it's no big deal. Again, 10 of these. I'm going to turn to the side just in case you need some visual from the side. That would be helpful. All right, we're going to take that one step further now. You're going to get into a hip width stance. You're going to drop down into a low squat, so a deep squat. You can come up onto the balls of your feet just a little bit. You can turn your knees out and your toes out, so you're more in into about a what we might call a goblet squat, deep squat position. And we're doing this so we can lengthen those inner thighs, those inner thigh muscles. But what we want to do is also give space for your elbows, because we're going to take the elbows, we're going to press them out into your knees to give overpressure into that external rotation. And then you're going to place your hands down on the ground. What I'm going to have you do then is you're going to rock yourself over, again, knee over toe. And you should feel as you get closer, your knee gets closer to the ground. I won't touch the ground, I shouldn't. But as you kind of rock into the motion, getting closer to the ground with your knee, you'll feel some of your upper adductors. So we have a few adductors that make up the entire adductor complex. Some are up closer to your pelvis, and this targets those a little bit more. Now, to get more ankle dorsiflexion, what you can do is you can flatten up your hands. You're going to still maintain that connection between your elbow and your knee, but you're going to drop down your heel on the opposite side that you're leaning toward, and then as you transition over to the opposite side, you're going to keep that heel on the ground as long as you can, forcing dorsiflexion to your ankle, and then transition down onto the opposite heel. So it's almost like a rock, right? You're going to rock down on this side, hop up on that side, trying to go through the full range of your ankle motion before you let that heel pop back up. We're going to do 10 on each side. I don't think I said that yet, but I'm sure you see a pattern in most of these. Okay, once we get to 10, we're going to come down into our 90-90 box position that we were in yesterday. You're going to be doing and targeting some different things this time. So remember, you're going to have your knee at 90 degrees, your ankle at 90 degrees on both sides, and then it should form this box right here. So instead of going immediately into the rotation, what we're going to do today is we're going to rotate our chest toward the front knee and then fold over into a posterior hip stretch. You might feel this stretch go all the way down to your thigh. That's perfectly okay. You can come down as far as you can. And then when you come back up, you're going to place your hands on either side of your thigh. This is just for almost anchoring yourself to the ground prior to the next portion of this movement, which is an isolated lift of the back foot. So you're going to think about your heel and you're going to drive it up to the sky while keeping your knee on the ground. Come up, hold for a full breath. Trying not to fold over to get that momentum. And then you're going to slowly come back down. You're then going to switch sides. So you're rotating like we did yesterday. Folding over your front knee. Good breath there. And then you're coming back up, hands on either side, isolating the lift. Coming back down. Again, keeping this knee on the ground, heels going up to the sky. Chest is high, you're not folding over to get motion from the back. And then rotate. We're going to do 5 on each side of these, 10 total. Fold, breathe, lift, anchor, knee stays down, heel drives to the ceiling, breath, and back down, rotate, fold, breath, up, anchor, heel goes up. Try not to decrease the angle of your knee. I about did that. We do not want that. That changes recruitment patterns just a wee bit. You want to maintain your 90-degree angle even through the lift. Good, we're folding again. After a deep breath, you're going to come back up. Hands parallel to thigh. Gonna lift from the heel. Another big breath. You should feel this activation in the side of your hip. It is okay if it spasms, it might. It depends on your current level of strength back there, and it is not uncommon to get some spastic activity. Just don't hold for quite as long at the top of the motion. So if you're getting spasms, come up, slowly come back down. Reduce that like 2 to 3 second hold at the top to about 1 second, and then move to the next one. I can't remember what number we're on. I think this is my 5th. Hope you're better at keeping count than I am. Most people are. Good. I'm going to rotate over, fold. Good breath, and back up to parallel, anchor, rotate. Another deep breath, back down, back up. All right, on to the next exercise. So this one is pretty dynamic. You're gonna get a nice space, probably about 3 feet in front of you, 3 feet in back of you, so that you aren't limited in one way or the other. We're going to start in that half kneeling position that we started in the beginning. And instead of coming out to the side, I'm going to have you inch your toe up just a little bit and place your hands on either side of your foot. Now, like yesterday, we're going to come into a runner's lunge, but this time, instead of having a down runner's lunge, I want you to pop up on the back foot so that you're on the ball of your foot, big toe is down and activated, and I want you to shift all of your weight up so that you're getting a really nice stretch, keeping that back knee straight, which will increase the intensity. If it's too much, please put a little bend in your knee. After a moment here, you're gonna drop your knee back down, inch your way back, dropping your foot too, to where your booty is on your foot as much as you can. And then you're bringing your toe back, knee straight, gently on this, because it also is going to mobilize your nerve as much as your muscles. So pull back gently if you feel intensity, lower back down. We want about 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 max intensity. And then you're gonna come back up, coming up into your full lunge. Big breath here. Again, we're thinking about keeping our heel on the ground to get ankle mobility as well as up chain mobility. Foot goes flat, so you can drop your your hip to your heel, knee goes straight, and then you're pulling toe, as long as it's not too intense, pushing toe back down, walking yourself back up. You're gonna do 5 on this side, and then we're gonna switch sides. Heel stays down as you move forward into your lunge. You're gonna pop back up onto your toe in the back, knee goes straight in the back, coming into your full range of motion into your runner's lunge. Then you're dropping your knee down, laying your back foot down, coming into a straight leg on the front leg, and toe up, toe down, inching yourself back up. Got 2 more. Pop back up in a full runner's lunge, keeping heel on the ground in the front. Big breath, knee in the back is straight. Now we're gonna drop down, inch back, back foot flat, heel to hip, and front leg straight, toe up, toe down. Last one, I think. Having problems today with counting. Breathe at end range. Come back into it. Hip to heel, straight leg, toe press, toe extend. Now, we're going to start in the lunge position to begin with on the opposite side. So, hands parallel to foot. We're going to come into that full lunge. You might not feel it like you have as much range on this side as you did on the last one of the opposite side, but that's okay, you'll get there. Come into your full position. Deep breath, and drop your knee, drop your foot, inch yourself back to a straight leg, pull your toe, push your toe, and inch back up. That is 1. We're going to count correctly this time. Knee goes up, full lunge forward, keeping your front heel on the ground, getting as much out of this as we can. Drop the knee, drop the foot in the back, come into a straight leg position on the front leg, and then toe back, toe up, inching back up. That was 2. Full lunge, heel on the ground in the front, breath at end range, and dropping knee, dropping foot, inching back, straight leg, toe, toe, back up. That was number 3. Keep your heel on the ground, get into that full lunge position. Keep your back leg straight as you can. Then knee comes down, hip to heel, straight knee, toe up, toe down. Last one. Feel so accomplished. Counting correctly. Breathe at that end range before you drop your knee. down, toe, toe. Good. We are going to end this one with a wide child's pose. We did frog child's pose yesterday before. This is very, very similar, except we're gonna get a wider stance with the toes not touching. So yesterday we had toes touching and we were rocking back into that down position. Today we're just gonna get a wider stance in general, and we're gonna rock back and hold and try to get our hips as close to the ground as possible. So again, toes don't have to touch. Coming straight down into a wide child's pose position, reaching out as far as you can. Getting some mobility through your upper body as well. Forehead is on the ground and you're nice and relaxed. You're just going to keep breathing. If this is too much, you can scoot your feet in just a little bit so that your heels are supportive of your hips. Take 5 more breaths. Two more breaths. Big breath in. Big breath out. In and out. Great. That is the end of day 2. I'll see you back here for day 3. Again, don't forget to let me know that you have finished this so I can keep you in the list of for the giveaway. All right, bye y'all.